Hello, this is Russell from the Tate Geological Museum, and today I'd like to show you a few mammal skulls. Now, one of the quickest and easiest ways to tell apart a mammal skull from a reptile skull is to look at its teeth. Reptiles have what we call a homodont dentition. That is to say, the teeth of a reptile are all pretty much the same size and pretty much the same shape, whether you're looking at the rear teeth, the forward teeth, or the ones in the middle. Sid the Komodo dragon here is a good example of a reptile's homodont teeth. We mammals, however, have what are called heterodont teeth. Each tooth in a different part of the mammal's mouth has a different function, and it has a different size and shape. As a result, it's like a Swiss Army knife right inside of your mouth. Here's an example that you're probably familiar with. This is the skull of a dog. Your household dog has one of these inside of his own head. And in the front, we've got the incisor teeth, which are for cutting. Even more evident in the human skull right here. There's those incisor teeth. These are the teeth you use when you're tackling an apple. Behind those, the canines for stabbing. In the case of the dog, this is useful for grabbing at something that's trying to run away from you. Behind that, shearing premolars, which function like scissors. In the case of a dog, good for cutting the meat when he's eating it up. And in the back, a dog has one flat-topped grinding tooth. In humans, there's several more. And these, of course, are the molars, good for chewing vegetable material and other tough foods that need a lot of mastication before you swallow them down. Now, another thing that mammals have is respiratory turbinates, and these are delicate little scrolls of bone inside of the mammal's nose. And they're extremely fragile, and you'll find a lot of skulls don't have these, either because they've been broken off while in the field, or during the process of cleaning the skull, people a lot of times will just chop those out instead of bothering trying to get them out clean and intact. But yeah, you can see all of those little scrolls of bone in there. These have two functions. First of all, they increase the surface area available for olfactory tissue. So that's part of the reason that a dog has such a good sense of smell. On a human, there's only a couple of respiratory turbinates, and they're not terribly complex. We don't have a sense of smell anywhere near as good as that of a dog. They also help to scavenge moisture from your outgoing breath and keep you from dehydrating in dry climates. One more thing I'd like to show you on these skulls is the infraorbital foramen. And that is this little hole right here in front of and below the eye socket. On a human, it's only about as big as the diameter of the lead in a pencil. And here on the dog, you can more easily see it because it's larger. There's a branch of the trigeminal nerve that comes through that hole and innervates the nose and the upper lip. So our nose and upper lip isn't much to speak of, and we can get away with a very small nerve innervating that. But of course, a dog's nose is longer, and it's always snuffling around and needs some greater innervation, hence the larger infraorbital foramen. But the champion, the king of the infraorbital foramen, is right here. D the mammoth. And here's the eye socket right up there, and down here, that is the infraorbital foramen. Look at that. I can stick my whole hand in there up to the wrist. So there's a big nerve going through there. If you think about this, this makes perfect sense. After all, what is the upper lip and nose of a mammoth? Well, it's a trunk. It's something that's over 2 meters long with 2,000 nerves that is dexterous enough to pick up a peanut without breaking the shell. So you need a lot of nervous control.